All right, cool. What's up, everyone? We're live in the Facebook group. Sorry that I'm not in my office. I'm on my couch because my nose is killing me. So I'm taking it easy. Don't give me any crap about it. All right. I'm here to help you, though. Scale your SaaS, help you with sales questions and prospecting, whatever you need. I've got your back. I'm here to help. What's up?
Hey, what's up?
Heidi, good to see you, or your name at least. Higgins, great to see you. Joe, great to see you. Does anyone have any questions for me today so we can get rolling?
Yes.
Hit me.
Okay. What about white label full service support? So not just ad support, but like white label where they'll do funnels and all that stuff. And what do they usually charge for that? Like, do they charge you a monthly fee, or they just make money off of the deals when they come in?
Who is they? Are you saying like in general
The,
they or who?
the white label, whoever, I don't know. I guess it's in general. How
Like
that
just in general, who we would recommend for white label what? White label funnel design, white label marketing, white label what?
full service, everything. Is there someone out there that does that?
I mean, yeah, of course. There's like probably 50 companies that do that.
What do you
I
recommend?
found most of them to be pretty mediocre, frankly. Like they're better when they're specialized. Probably the one that you're looking for that does like literally everything would be Dash Clicks, run by Chad Kaderi. Great guy. I would say again, like my only criticism of the company, which has nothing to do with a personal thing. I actually love Chad. I've been to his office multiple times. He's from my same neighborhood that I grew up in, which is fun. Small industry. Is just that they do everything. So I think that makes some of the quality suffer sometimes. And when I say everything, I mean literally, I'm pretty sure there's not a single marketing service that they don't offer. It's cool. Like they have like an a la carte website where you can buy whatever you want. So that's pretty interesting. Very unique format, kind of like Vendasta, which is another one that does everything. I would never recommend Vendasta. Other ones that could be considered, but they don't do everything, would be like Invisible PPC. They mostly focus on Google Ads. Agency Elevation, which does YouTube, Facebook, SEO. I think I'm probably missing something, but they're pretty great. Let me see my I have like literally a sheet of all the people that we have that we recommend our clients to. Give me a sec. White label service providers list. Let me tell you what we have here. So yeah, all around service providers are going to be Agency Elevation and Dash Clicks. Appointment setting teams are different completely from what you're asking. Those would be the ones I'd consider. That's what I'd look at, Nick.
Agency elevator
Elevation and Dash Clicks. Yeah.
And Dash Clicks.
Yes, sir.
All right. I will look into those.
Cool.
I need somebody to offload requests to.
Yeah, absolutely is a good idea to have that type of support for sure. What other questions do you guys have for me? Most of the time I coach sales, talk about sales objection handling and how to, make sure that you're getting closes. Is there any objections that you guys have been dealing with on calls as of late, things that I can support on and give you feedback on? Anyone got anything for me today?
Oh, I got one.
Hit me, Jenna.
So I got this one the other day. I asked him if there's anybody else that should be on the call with us. He said, well, I do have a partner, but I just usually bring things to him after I think it's a good fit. I said, well, let's join him on the next call. Make sure it's a good time for both of you. He's like, well, he's on vacation and I want to get this lined out. So we went back and forth for a couple minutes and then I was like, okay, well, let's just sit down and we'll talk. But
so was this on a sales call or an appointment setting call?
It was appointment setting.
So you were trying to set an appointment and you were talking about the decision maker?
Yeah.
And when you were setting the appointment, he was basically saying, like, I'm not going to set the appointment with my business partner until I see what you have to offer.
Basically, yeah.
Got it. The framework I would have used, because you have a $297 offer, is pretty simple. It's like, we don't want to waste our time with someone that's like not willing to invest $297, right? So the framework would have been something along the lines of like, hey, Larry, totally understand. Hey, totally understand where you're coming from in regards to wanting to like review the offer before you bring it to your partner. I have no issue with that. Just so you know up front, right? This isn't a high ticket product. It's $297 a month. And the opportunity you have, you know, to make literally thousands of dollars implementing it, make it really easy. So I don't want you to be like fearful of any sort of like $5,000 or $10,000 price. That's not what it's going to be. I would much prefer to have the call with you and your partner, but if it's only going to happen if we do it with you, like we can do that too. But I just want to be upfront with you about the pricing. The reason I would do that on that kind of appointment setting call is to avoid wasting time with someone that would never pay you. You know what I mean? Like that would be the consideration I would have. We all have to have the consideration that your service that you're charging is very inexpensive. It's very inexpensive. It's very, very inexpensive. If you're talking about $300, I mean, that's literally going to be $10 per day. We're talking about businesses not willing to invest $10 per day. It's like, what are we even wasting our time on? What are we wasting our time on? Right. So that's the format that I would be very strongly considerate of, just being upfront about it on the appointment setting so that you can then frame it as the reason we don't just like send you to a demo and you decide if you want to buy it or not is I want to just customize this for you to understand how it would really benefit you specifically. That would be the framework I would use, Jenna, to make sure that they know that you're there to really support. That would be the idea. Does that make sense? You're muted, by the way. I muted you because you're a child. So I just wanted to know if that was good for you. Yep. Cool. Awesome. Anything else, guys? Any other questions for me? Sorry, I'm not like have anything prepared necessarily for you today. Yeah, I'm dying over here. Higgins, did you do that, by the way? How did you set that up?
I use Ecamm Live.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's the new Zoom feature. Like if you like do a thumbs up, it like thumbs up for you.
Yeah.
It's pretty, yeah.
Yeah.
I could definitely, I mean, the mountain of tissues I have next to me, you know, not ideal. Yeah, there you go. It worked. Yeah, I'm dying over here today. It's very annoying. I got to be honest, but it's all good. I'll be okay. Just a heads up for everyone here. Next Wednesday at 4:00, Beyond, myself, Fur, and Sharon are doing a special training, an announcement next Wednesday. So it's the same time as this call, but next Wednesday. Would love to have you there. It's going to be a lot of fun and an exciting announcement. We're really looking forward to it.
Yay. So is
We're
there going to be
excited.
stuff on Wednesdays from now on? I know we had somebody leave.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
That was just like the time that worked for all of us to do it. And since we didn't have a call on that time, then that's why we wanted to announce it then.
I do have a question.
Hit me, Nick.
Forgive me for I've talked to so many dang people. I forget names. What was the gentleman's name who is on Tuesday at 3? Let me look and see. Anybody?
Steve Rosenbaum.
I think it's I think it is Steve. It's with the follow-up, famous follow-up, or
His name is Steve. Yeah.
Steve. So Steve was talking about
Great guy.
yeah, he is. He's really awesome. I really like him. He's really good.
Not as good as me though, right? Just double checking.
Of course not. Of course
Thank
not.
God. Okay. I need this for my ego. You don't tell me that. My life is ruined.
Hey, my
Steve, you heard that?
My
Just wanna make
Thursday.
sure.
This is
Into the
recorded.
ether.
Oh no. Steve, I'm trying to make
Blackmail.
me feel good. I'm trying to No, okay. So Steve mentioned something about doing, and I've missed a few calls, and so I may have missed it, but they're setting up some sort of a sales automation where they do all the sales for us, and we send people. They help sell our SaaS for us. Are you familiar with something of that nature?
Who
I
is
remember
this?
him talking about it, but I just can't remember.
You're asking me what the company is?
No, he said it was going to be through Extendly.
Oh, I don't know.
You know what it is, what the new thing they're going to come out with is.
If you just post it in the group, Beyond or Fur, Sharon, or tag Steve, they'll answer you.
Okay.
I'm not super like keen on the inner workings of Extendly. Like I work with Beyond on other stuff, and so he asked me to do some calls with the community to help you guys with sales and stuff, which I'm always down for. Like I love coaching. I love helping. I love supporting. That's what I do every day. But yeah, no, I'm not super keen on the inner workings. It was
Sounds
honestly
good.
happenstance that I just said Steve. That was by happenstance. So, to be frank, does anyone have any specific like sales objections, questions, concerns, prospecting, scalability, team management? Hit me, right? If you're here and want to utilize your time, don't be afraid to ask questions. There's no wrong or bad or dumb questions. No one's judging you. And if they are judging you, for lack of a better term, F them. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what they think. The only thing that matters is you get what you need out of this. And if not, then we'll just chill in silence and awkwardness, which is always fun too. Who doesn't like to do that? I like doing that. No
I
last.
do always like your scripts whenever you're approaching somebody, because right now I've been helping other companies set up and onboard, but I want to be able to do my own and probably get into the service niche, like roofers or something like that, because you had talked about that before. And offering just one thing, like you said, the missed call text back.
Yep.
So it's just putting together something. What do I need to have together as far as my snapshot?
Yeah, that's a good idea. So first of all, when you say you're working with, like, are you working as like a freelancer for other SaaS businesses and doing setups? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, just doing
Okay, so
onboarding stuff.
And you want to set up your own SaaS.
Mm-hmm.
And what feature do you want to use? Missed call text back?
I think so. I think when you had spoke about it before, that really hit home. It made a lot of sense.
So in the in the snapshot that I would take from Extendly, I would use missed call text back as the main feature, and then I would use this website. I think I showed this to you guys last time. I would use this website to sell it. Heidi?
Oh,
right?
no, I haven't seen this.
Well, that's why you ask questions, because I have a lot of stuff. I have a lot of stuff. I got a whole lot of things. I'll drop this for you. Bam. So basically, you're on a call. If I was you, Heidi, where do you live?
Connecticut.
Where in Connecticut?
Southeastern.
Give me the city.
How about Mystic?
Are you telling me right now that there is a place called Mystic, Connecticut?
Yes.
Oh my God, that is the best name of city I've
Just
ever
like
heard.
Mystic Pizza was filmed there.
What?
Yeah,
You're blowing
really.
my mind right now. That's incredible. That's great. Love it. I found out recently that there's a Hell, Michigan. That is too funny. Oh, there is Mystic Pizza right there. All
There
right.
you go.
Roofing. There's not a single roofing company. So I'm not sure
Okay,
how far.
New London, Waterford. That's good over there
I'm
to
not
the
sure
left.
how far these places are from you. Like, is this
Yeah.
far to drive?
No.
That's what I would do.
New London's great.
I would go in person to Brennan, BP, SJM, DC, Choppa. I would go to these companies in person with this text back calculator and say, look, when you understand, right, in your area, there is at minimum 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 roofing companies, right, in this little area. Okay. And when you scroll out, there's probably significantly more in this area too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How do you beat the crowd? Right? If someone calls you, BP Builders, it's very likely that they're going to call at least 2 other ones, right? It's very likely. Now, here's the thing. If they call you and you don't answer for whatever reason, right? They're likely just going to call the next one and they're the ones going to get the opportunity. So think about it this way. On average, you're going to be making $5,000 per client roughly, right? For a repair. If it's a re-roof, it's going to be a lot more, but the average opportunity is a repair. Is that correct, Mr. Brennan?
Yep.
That's right, Heidi. Okay. Well, if you're an average client value and we're saying we miss on average just 1 call a day, which is 30 per month. Okay. How many closes? Like, what's your average close rate, Mr. Brennan? What do you close at?
Oh, 50%.
50%. Okay. I hear this a lot, by the way, Mr. Brendan. And I want to say that you are correct, that you do close at 50%, but I want to be more conservative so that you can see, even when you're conservative, how much money is available to you. Let's say you close at 25%, half of what you said. Okay. Based off of this math, you are currently leaving right now $37,000 a month on the table, right? Now, again, let's be even more conservative. Let's say you're not missing 30 calls a month. Say you're missing only half of that amount of calls per month. Okay. You're missing 15 calls per month. But when you miss 15 calls that could have been clients and you're closing at 25% rate, you're leaving potentially $18,400 a month on the table. My product is only $297. And what we'll do is we will text the people that you missed a call from immediately and say, hey, sorry that we missed your call. Please give us a ring back, or how can we help you, or give them a coupon or some sort of thing that gives them interest in working with you longer term, right? Because now what you're doing is taking this lead back instead of them going to another competitor, right? This is a 6,000% return on your investment. Give it a shot. Let me show you what it will look like over the next 3 months. I guarantee that you will get clients from this. It's the easiest decision. And you get started for $7 completely free today. Super easy.
Do you get started for what?
$7?
I meant to say 7 days for free, but it didn't happen. I don't know if anyone caught it or not, but I also ran out of tissues, so I'm screwed. Exactly, Charles. I'm screwed.
I missed the first part because I had a call coming in. What was the so that I saw you put that link for the calculator.
Yes.
Is there a widget or something that I can, is this something I can use and go high level? This page, can I build this onto my site?
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's just a calculator. It's not like anything special.
Is that your calculator?
No.
Did you embed it?
No. Let me tell you.
Oh.
Hold on. Okay. So this was originally the one I made. This was the original one that I made.
Yes.
And then I showed it to the high level team, and then they're like, "We made this one." So this is the one.
So let's get the whole Go High Level team Go High Level made it.
Yeah, Go High Level made this.
Nice.
Is it in? Did you say that it's in our? Well, I don't know. How does it go? How do we get it from Go High Level?
You don't need to get it from Go High Level. You just use this. You just use the web.
Oh, this website.
Yeah, why you don't need to use anything else. And if you want to build it in yours, you can. It's literally just a simple calculator. That's all it is. This takes literally 3 minutes to make on a spreadsheet. Literally 3 minutes. Right? It doesn't have to be pretty. They just made it pretty. The only thing is I don't know what this button does. Yeah. Just brings you to like this main page. This is cool. I'm not sure. I think this is probably a snapshot that they have. I don't know how. I don't know how to get it.
It's in the 5-day challenge.
Yeah, whatever Charles says.
It's in the 5-day challenge.
Yep, it's in the 5-day challenge course.
It's a pretty good. Simple landing page, and it's easy. I mean, it's really easy to sell. So if I was you, Heidi, I would be going in person to these companies. Make your life way easier because it will make you do audacity sales, step out of your comfort zone, and create the opportunities that are available to you. It's much harder to say no in person, and will force you to do the things that you say you want to do versus coming back and being blunt in order to help you versus coming back here in 3 months from now, right? And we fast forward and it's like, well, I haven't really sent some messages and stuff. Like when you get out in person, it just changes the entire energy. Everything changes.
And do I need to make sure that I'm talking to the decision maker, of course, right?
I mean, ideally, you're speaking to the person that runs it, but even if not, it's easy to show anyone. Like it takes 5 seconds to show anyone. It's like, oh, do you field the calls? Who fields the calls?
Oh,
okay, cool. Well, check this out. It's just a simple thing because, again, the concept that I want all of you thinking about, and I tell this to everyone that is working with Extendly that does any work with GHL, it's the product price is so low for the value that you get, and the consistent expectation for the people that you're speaking to is it's expensive. Everything's expensive in the space. Everything costs $2,000. Everything costs $5,000, but this doesn't. It's not expensive. It's $300. And so you can't shy away or be fearful of the idea of the price. Like we're not trying to hide the price. We're just trying to explain bluntly what it is, like, and what the value is, right? My product, as an example, right? Like what I do specifically, right? I run a coaching program. Okay. My product is 10 times the price of High Level, 10 times. My product's $3,000 per month. That's what we do, right? And it's worthwhile because what we do is excellent coaching and provide a resource to help people grow and scale a marketing agency when you're already past 20K a month. So it's worthwhile, but it's 10 times the price of High Level. So I think there just has to be a complete paradigm shift of people selling SaaS to not be concerned about the price whatsoever. It should be in your mind that this is the easiest no-brainer on the planet so that the people that you're speaking to are in the same mindset. If you portray it in your mind as this is a substantial investment, it's a big deal. Oh my God, it's going to be that way to the prospects you speak to also. And in the same vein, when I'm talking about my product being $3,000 a month, right? I have the same belief. It's not expensive. That is not a big investment. It's a no-brainer if we're going to help someone go from $20,000 to $150,000 per month. So of course they should be spending $3,000 a month, but that's a totally different mindset that's required, right? When I worked with attorneys when I was younger, in my mind, right, for me, $1,000 was a huge amount of money. Huge. That was like a huge number in my head. But then when you realize that attorneys, how much money they make, the amount of money that I thought is a lot, that amount of money is 10 times, what they think, right? Like their mindset is $10,000 is a steep investment. $1,000 is I'll throw it in the lake, I'll throw quarters in the lake. That's the same idea. So that's the mindset that needs to be had in order to be really successful with this.
How do you think A2P is going to affect this when they can't really get started for months?
Yeah, lack of a better term, a huge bitch. No, it's very frustrating. Extendly and the team have been, pretty up to snuff on it. I am certainly not up to snuff on it, so I don't want to pretend that I know all that stuff. The thing that I would be cognizant of is just either one, researching it in the Extendly group or in the High Level group. Just search like what people are doing for missed call text back, because obviously High Level knows missed call text back is one of the favorite features for most people. So they probably have some solutions that I'm not considerate of today.
Got it. I like that. Thank you. Of
course, it's my pleasure. What's up, Shane? I don't think you've been on this call before. Nice to meet you if you're there. And George S. I'm not sure who George S is, but good to have you guys. Is there anything that anyone has any questions for me on today? Let me see if anyone's in the Facebook group. By the way, I didn't even check. If you are on the Facebook group, you are welcome to join the call itself and just check in with y'all. Let's see here. Stanley. All right, let's see what we got. Anyone else have anything for me or need anything from me? I searched Extendly, by the way, and Charles, a post that you did in February came up. It's kind of funny.
There we go.
Moments like these, you realize the difference between a vendor and a partner. Oh, that's lovely. That's very nice. Why am I having a hard time finding this live? Did I go live in the group? Okay, we're good. Awesome. Anything else? Anyone else need anything from me? Any questions I can answer or support on? Guess next time you need me to come with a training, huh? You guys aren't ready to ask questions, huh? Everyone's just like, I'm going to sit up, fly on the wall.
I'll throw this out there. I did get a call from, and actually it was from him seeing posts that I'd made in the Extendly group and being on some of these calls. But I talked with an agency owner, one that's thinking about starting up, just not sure which direction he wants to go. And the conversation basically revolved around marketing and advertising agencies, and how not all marketing and advertising agencies want to be a high level agency.
Sure.
And it is a huge opportunity that I think is oftentimes missed or misconceived within the general high level community that, Why wouldn't they run a high level agency? You know, they're an ad agency. It'll just help them even more. Why wouldn't they want to do that? And I think it's a big misconception and missed opportunity a lot of times, because you can really help each other, and stick to your lane of genius.
Are you saying that it's a missed opportunity for the agencies not to utilize high level? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying it's a missed opportunity for high level agencies to not go after advertising and marketing agencies, assuming that they want to have their own high level agency account.
Got it. Yeah, understood. Yeah, I think my thought process related to like high level SaaS might be slightly different than others, which is fine, right? I spoke at the high level event 3 weeks ago, which was fun. But their whole spiel at the event was strictly SaaS, which I understand obviously why that's the model. And I know that's pretty common in the space, but to me, like the most ideal model is a strategic partnership model, right? And it's very ironic because your post that you were just were talking about was literally this about the difference between being a vendor and a strategic partner. A lead generation agency is strictly a vendor relationship, right? You provide leads or sales or opportunities to any type of client, and it's always a what have you done for me lately business, meaning if you've had a bad month with leads, they're not going to be happy. If they had a bad month, they're going to cancel because, they can't afford your services anymore. When you are a strategic partner and you provide a technology solution, right, which is high level, and you provide them with automations and resources and efficiency elements to save time, make more money, and make their job and life a lot easier, it's very hard for them to cancel your services. Now, it's still totally feasible that they cancel the vendor solution, the lead generation solution, but the chances of them canceling the lead generation solution and the technology solution is very unlikely. And so what we end up finding is a lot of agencies that incorporate having SaaS alongside their vendor solution of lead generation, even if they lose the vendor portion, meaning they lose the lead generation from the client, so they lose, like, let's say $1,500 of recurring revenue a month, but they retain the $400 a month on technology, the chances of that client coming back to the vendor solution within the next 6 months is way higher. Versus if you're strictly a vendor and the client leaves, the chances of that client returning is very low because there's so many vendors available that they're likely just going to find a different vendor, right? Which is totally reasonable and understandable. All of that to be said, though, my recommendation for every business is to do SaaS and agency. My goal for every client is to have $1,000 profit for every client. Now, that's not every business. There's plenty of very successful SaaS companies that do nothing related to marketing at all. And that is completely okay. I just find it for beginner SaaS businesses a bit of an odd play because of the amount of money that you'll make. If we oversimplify business into booking sales calls, closing deals, and selling, right? Well, if you understand that it takes the same amount of effort to book a sales call for a $300 offer as it does for a $2,500 offer, I think it's a little bit foolish to not be having a $2,500 offer, because in that format, right, your product is this almost 10 times less expensive, but you're not going to be booking 10 times more sales conversations to sell SaaS than you would to sell a vendor solution. And that's why I think a lot of people have a really hard time with getting SaaS off the ground. Because even if you get 10 clients at $300 a month, you're making $3,000. An agency that started and charges $2,500, you get 2 clients and you're at $5,000. And so that's why a lot of people at the beginning, I would always recommend, if you're in the biz ops stage, definitely have a marketing solution available. If you already have a marketing agency, absolutely add a SaaS business. So that's usually my thought process, Charles, on how it all works.
Yeah, I came from marketing and advertising, and I was so burnt out on it. I didn't want to touch it with the 10-foot pole because
Absolutely.
I know how many hours go into it and how much it is up and down, it's a roller coaster ride. And it's totally dependent on so many outside variables that you have no
Absolutely.
control over. And so that's why I kind of made a hybrid of the model, I guess you're talking about, is that I partnered with agencies. If that's what they know, love, and do, I don't want to do it. Well, let's all work together then. You can take care of that part. They can sign up for my platform. And at the end of the day, if they cancel you, they're probably still going to stick on my SaaS. And they're going out and acquiring the customers for me. So I don't have to worry about it as much on the acquisition side. Because you are right. If you're spending the time trying to land pure SaaS, then it's a lot for little. You're doing a lot of work, a lot of legwork, a lot of sales calls, a lot of demos to get $300.
Exactly.
But if you can find a source that's bringing you those clients and you're not
Definitely.
really having to do anything except maybe the occasional demo call for the overcritical thinker, then it's like, okay.
I have
might work.
personally not seen any SaaS agencies go with the angle of trying to partner with marketing companies who don't want to take like the overwhelming experience of trying to build their own SaaS. I've not seen one person do that. Not that that's not happening. I'm just saying I literally haven't seen that. I don't think it's a bad idea by any means. I guess my concern is like on the inside baseball format, like nothing you can hide from a marketing agency. Like they have all the right to take everything that you've built for all their clients and cut you out. And that's kind of crappy. So, but I've never seen anyone do that. I've never seen anyone implement that strategy as it currently stands. That's what you're doing, Charles.
That's what I do.
No concern that they would just take your snapshots and run.
Mm-mm.
Why?
No, and I've actually had high-level agencies cancel their agency account and just come under as a sub account.
Interesting. It's probably your IP is probably so like in depth that it would make it really hard to copy what you're doing. But I think if you step out of your box, right, like for someone to follow your model, how much time does it take to get the IP to the level that you put it at for your company? Probably a significant amount of time.
Yeah, well, and it's more, a lot of it comes into not necessarily the IP is between my ears. It's 25 years of building CRMs.
Sure.
So it's how do we take what we have and modify it and adapt it to what you actually need and think really outside the box for solutions, because sometimes you just get into some very unique situations that you have to be able to find a solution for. And they don't care how you get it done. They just want to know that it can be done. And that's what I dealt with in my previous career, was taking inept systems and trying to make them work in an advanced way that they were never intended to work. How do I stretch that penny into $1 for them?
Yeah, been there.
But it's worked for me. I mean, it may not. I always tell people it's definitely the unconventional route. And it won't work for everybody. And you get paired up. I mean, one disadvantage is going pure SaaS is just you get teed up against competitors, Salesforce, HubSpot, Zoho. You're directly, if you're just selling software, if you're just selling SaaS, I mean, you have to be able to handle that conversation. And it's a totally different conversation.
Yeah, I'd argue the point that that's the same though in marketing. You're not comparing against these massive companies, but same idea. Like you're comparing against Joe Schmo marketing agency who offered the same service with advertising. Now it's pricing, and now it's results. Now it's guarantees. Like similar idea. You always have to be prepped to handle competitor conversation, right? The competitor conversation angle. The easiest thing to do is just make sure that they understand that the kind of lunacy of the question. And the reason why, what I mean by the lunacy of the question is that's much more emotional question than it is a pragmatic question. It's not feasible or possible that every competitor in the space, in SaaS or in marketing. It's not possible. Second, even if you did know every competitor, there's no way that you would want to build your business by throwing someone else under the bus, right? By being like, oh, Zoho, they're trash. We're better. Like, who wants to work with someone like that? But it's like kind of what they're asking you to do. It's very strange. So
It is weird.
The framework, it's understandable because it's just like a triggered response. It's not necessarily like a pragmatic approach to, I want to really understand the difference between you and every one of your competitors. They're just asking a generic question of like, how are you different? And so what you want to frame to them is something along the lines of this: 3, 2, 1. Hey, Chris, totally makes sense that you'd ask that question in terms of making sure you get the most bang for your buck, right? That you make the right decision that's best for you and your business and your family, which I completely respect. I'll say this first. In terms of, the competition and the landscape, I have a pretty decent understanding of, the marketplace in general, and I could probably touch on a few companies, but also I'm not going to say that I know every single, SaaS business, or I'm not going to say that I know every single, marketing agency in the space, because obviously I don't, I don't know every single one of them. But all of that to be said, the truth is, like, I'm not going to ever sit here and be like, oh, this company is bad because they do this, right? Like, I am confident in what we do because we're the best at X, right? And X is what's going to get you the result that you've been asking for on this call, which was Y. Obviously, fit the variables in. We're best at running advertising on Facebook to get you the best result, which is getting you more re-roofs for your business. Like, that's filling in the gaps, right? All that to be said, I know you don't want to work with someone that's going to just throw them under the bus, but I did do some due diligence for you. And then this is what I would have. I would have this slide. This is what I coach all of my clients. I would have this slide. It's like, I'm glad you asked that, because what I do is I try to understand like essentially what the competition is doing versus what we're doing. So you have a baseline understanding, because I want you to be able to feel comfortable that I've also dotted all my I's and crossed all of my T's. So in general, any competition that's, worth their weight will definitely be doing, Facebook ads and Instagram ads, all the creation management and optimization, the CRM, right? Utilizing Whitelabel, or utilizing Lead Connector or whatever name you want to tool it as, and then drip campaigns, right? Any company that you're speaking to right now that does not do these 4 things, they shouldn't even be considered whatsoever, right? I'm just giving them the benefit of the doubt that they're doing all of these things. The things that we do that are very different are this and this and this. And so you just frame in this format of understanding and showcasing, like, I'm giving credence that they're likely doing these things, right? And then I'm showcasing to you what makes me very special and different without throwing anyone under the bus, right? That's the framework. You end it always with this model. And Charles, in case you've had any like calls already where you're in consideration, I'm more than happy to review any specific offers that you've had to see if I truly believe it's better. Look, at the end of the day, I'm of course going to be biased. I'm always going to think that we're the best, but the facts are the facts, right? If I look at an offer that is simply better than what we have had, my duty and job on this call is to do right by you. That's what the product, that's what my whole mission and responsibility is. And if it is better, I'll tell you to go with them. And then I'll go back to the drawing board and fix something. If it's not better, I'll tell you very bluntly that you should work with me. Obviously, there's going to be a bias here, but at the end of the day, that's your choice to believe what I say or not. And I believe that it's worthwhile to believe what I have to say, right? You see how people feel about that, et cetera, going and so forth. And then always feel comfortable to let people make the decision that they feel is best. If they're like, oh, well, this price is way lower here, et cetera, pull the deal off the table. The pulled close is a very powerful framework. It's the idea of saying to someone like, look, Azu, at the end of the day, like, you're more than welcome to go work with company X. If you go work with company X and it works out for you, I'm going to be excited for you. Obviously, I want to have you as a client, but I want you to get the result. If you go work with company X and I follow up though in 60 days and it's not working, then I want you to work with me, right? But you get what you pay for. It's that simple. That's the truth. You get what you pay for. If you're making a decision based off of a difference of $800, I respect it. That's your prerogative to do so. I'm just telling you, get what you pay for. You don't go to McDonald's, buy a $4 burger, and then compare that to a $35 burger at a 5-star restaurant, because they're not the same. I believe very strongly that I'm the $35 burger. I can't say that the company you're talking about is a $5 McDonald's burger. I can't say that because I don't know if that's true. And sometimes $5 McDonald's burgers are good to have. That's just the truth. All of that to say, though, you just have to make the decision that's best for you. I feel confident that this is the right fit. I believe it's worthwhile based on the finances that we went through. But if you want to go with this other company, I respect that too. what you're doing is going away from the desperation of closing. And that's what most people really want to avoid. They don't want to be in a sales situation with someone that feels desperate, speaks desperate, and acts desperate. And so when you give them the option to remind them, like, you have the other door to choose. Like, you don't have to say yes to me. They feel more confident and comfortable that you're not there just to make money, but you're there to actually get the result. That's the key. That's what people want.
That's so true. I had a meeting one time with a lady, and actually it was my very first sale. She goes, "Wow, I thought this was going to be a hard sales process or a hard sales, closing on me." And I was like, "Oh no, I'm just telling you what this stuff does and how you can do it." And it was about educating her, and she felt super amazing about it. She said that was easy.
Yeah, when people say that stuff to me, I love doing some sort of like ridiculous humor, like, because that's my style, obviously, as you know, Nick. But I would be like, "Oh, I didn't start yelling yet." Like, that's the yelling is coming in like probably 30 seconds or so. And then obviously, look, I'm glad that that's the experience. I'm not trying to make anyone feel pressured or anything. That's not what I want. But yeah, I use self-deprecating humor a lot in sales to break barriers, to make people relax, to calm them down, to make them realize, like, I'm not here just trying to get money any means necessary. Like, I don't have some magic abracadabra wand to force you to pay me. I'll give you the best insight I can, try to point you in the right direction, and maybe we'll work together, maybe we won't, but it's all good either way. That really works very well.
I know I definitely follow your, I don't go down the rabbit hole of throwing someone under the bus, no matter how horrible I may think they are personally, of a competitor. And I
it's
definitely,
hard sometimes when they bring it up by name and that company.
It does. Yeah. I had one do it for me today, on a call.
Charles, you want to know what I say really quick? I just say, like, look, I'm just going to say I plead the fifth on it. I want to high road. You can read in between the lines there and get the subtext, and we'll just move on.
Yeah.
Some people do one of these faces. Like, I'm like, okay, if you don't know what the word subtext is or the take the high road metaphor, then we could just move on. It's okay. It's all good.
Yeah. Yeah. I generally just focus kind of like you do with your slide there. Key general differences that I know generally across the market. This is where we're different. Because like you said, I mean, I've been around CRMs for over 20 years and I still don't know every freaking one out there. I'll never come close to knowing them all. People name them off. I'm like, I've never heard of that one. I don't know. Maybe they're good. Maybe they're bad. I don't know. But here's what we
Charles,
do.
Or when people are pressuring you,
different.
they think you're lying. Like, how do you not know about it? What do you mean? You said you're an expert. You're like, okay, we can stop now. We can end.
Yeah. It's great meeting you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
I get some of these calls sometimes where people are on, like, because they want to work with us in our program, Prospecting on Demand, and I'll get on a call and they're like so aggressive. They're like, I heard you said this thing, you do that, blah blah blah. This is what I want. I've been burned before. I'm like, I wonder why you've been burned. You just sound lovely. Like, you sound like someone I'm desperate to get paid by. My concept that I teach anyone, especially beginners, because when beginners are, in the process of entrepreneurship, they just want to take any dollar they can, which I understand why. But it's like, if someone is being rude to you before they paid you $1, oh my God, imagine what they're like after they paid you $1.
Oh,
this is what I tell them.
They clutch the pearls of their money. And so if they're already rude, it's tough. Thankfully I've seen it a lot less over the years, but with attorneys, in scaling my attorney agency, I mean, the amount of like verbal abuse that I took both as a vendor and as a salesperson was outrageous, and it honestly for a long time, because I was immature, I was 18, 19, 20 to 27 years old, basically. Like, I thought less of myself. I thought that I was doing something wrong, that I had deserved this type of like verbal beratement, until I, got older and kind of just recognized, like, there's a line that I'm willing to have or not. And once you step out into the space of expressing to someone like, hey, I know you've had certain experiences before, but I don't want to be the whipping post for that. Like, I'm happy to have a casual conversation with you about how I can help, but I'm not interested in getting like interrogated. And some attorneys will be like, okay, bye. They don't like that. And some of them will realize, I am being a total asshole right now. I'm going to chill. I apologize. And that really works very well. It creates a different type of synergy and energy when you give people a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. One of the concepts that I really believe in, like very wholeheartedly, is the idea that everyone is going through something. Everyone is going through something. Life is challenging in and of itself, whether it's financial, health, mental, interpersonal, business, personal. There's so many aspects of life that are very challenging on a consistent basis. Everyone's going through something. And so sometimes you are the whipping post, intentionally or unintentionally, by someone else. But if you can give a little bit of grace to those people, one of my clients says this concept. I hope I don't incorrectly quote him, but it was amazing. Jeff, I don't know if you remember Brett saying this, but at the event, but it was amazing when he said this. He said that I believe that you need to love and care for people when they least deserve it, but need it the most. And when he said that, one of my clients said this at our event in Detroit. We had like 75 people there, and everyone was just quiet for like 30 seconds, just like staggered by that truly beautiful comment. He is a religious man, so it has a slightly different connotation. Like you would expect that of a very religious person, but you don't have to be religious for that to be an impactful comment. You can just be a religious person in the way of like being good to other human beings, because everyone's going through something. You don't know what they're going through, and sometimes we're really quick to judge about how crazy that person is. But I think all of us, if we were judged by our worst moments, it's like it would be a little bit unfair. I have a lot of terrible, stupid moments of immaturity, even today, 31 years old, like it happens all the time. And if I'm judged by those moments, I don't think many people would really appreciate or respect what I do, but I'm just a human being, just a person, just like anyone else. So I think if we can give a little more grace, even in sales conversations, it would be helpful. And just for clarity, that doesn't mean I always give grace. If someone's an asshole to me on a call, there's a lot of times I don't give them any grace. And then I try to, in retrospect, be like, maybe I should have given that person a little bit more grace. And then I give myself grace for not giving that asshole grace. That's the weird cycle of how it all goes. But it's okay. You just learn from it. You get better, right? You just get better. That's the mindset that I try to imbue upon everyone I work with on a consistent basis. Like, you don't really know what someone else is dealing with. Give them love. Give them love. Joe Mendoza asked a question 25 minutes ago and I didn't answer it. My bad. So someone just starting out, do you say I have a SaaS or marketing agency company without confusing them? The sentence that you wrote is definitely confusing. I'll give you that. That's for sure. I like that you wrote SaaS, SaaS. I would love for someone to do a sales call and be like, I have so much SaaS. I am the sassiest SaaS you've ever had. Does no one own sassysass.com? Someone owns sassysass.com, right? It's got to be. If not, I'm buying it now. And then I'm going to make a whole character, wear a wig, and go, I'm going to be Sassy Sass. That is me. Is it owned? It directs to Poop Coin. That's beautiful. That is great. Sassy Sass. I love it.
The reason why I asked that is, GHL originally started as marketing agency, but then I heard about the SaaS. I heard about upgrading the $497 versus like the 97 plan, and I'm leaning more towards the SaaS. So, what's?
Are you going to do any lead generation services?
I plan to do both. Yeah.
Yeah, I would just say you're a marketing and technology partner. It's probably what I would use.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, probably what I would use. I probably wouldn't get too worried about it, to be frank. The more just transparent that you are, Joe, like I spoke to you for 5 seconds at the front of this call, and I already know that you're an expert salesperson, just the way that you communicate with human beings. That's all it takes, right? Like same thing with Heidi, same thing with Charles, right? It's really easy for you to just connect with someone right away. That's all that it takes to be successful. All that it takes. The willingness and capability of being able to connect, being transparent, being authentic, and being confident. That's it.
Thank
Confidence. Confidence is everything. If you can't imbue with confidence in your prospect, you will never sell, ever. Ever. If you sell and you can't imbue confidence, you get the worst type of sale possible. And that's a pity sale. It's hard to have pity sales when you're past 30 years old, unless you look like you're 15. But I got a lot of pity sales when I was younger. A lot. A huge amount. You know what happens when you get pity sales? Pity quickly turns into a massive amount of resentment and buyer's remorse in about 14 seconds. But I used to leverage the pity sale pretty hard when I was younger. When I would go in person, I'm a young kid, I'm in college, I'm trying to make a quick dollar, I'm trying to figure this out. Please help me. I wasn't selling based off confidence. I was selling a pity story. And it worked. I made a lot of sales. But the amount of resentment that was created after I realized, I could not deliver the result the way that they needed it to be done, I quickly changed very fast into getting better results and then speaking with confidence instead. And that's way more empowering. It's way more empowering to leave the attorney's office being like, they bought from me because they know I'm a badass versus they bought from me because I told them that I'm trying to get my name out there and I'm a young entrepreneur and give me a shot. Just a different experience. It's very different. Both work, but confidence is key.
I have a question for you
since
since you deal with attorneys. I have one attorney client. The Clio integration. Oh, he's been a dream. Great client.
Yay, good. You have a good one.
Yeah. Well, and he's local, so that made it even easier. But the Clio integration, is it still working?
The what integration?
The Clio integration?
No idea what Clio integration is.
Clio is the software for attorneys and their client management, as it pertains to
all of my
documentation.
All of my clients use Practice Panther.
Okay.
All of them. The software, there was a software when I was younger that came out that was just transformative in the space. That was through scanning documents, it would automatically put all of your printed documents into a searchable index with like 90% accuracy, which at that time was unbelievable, right? And they killed that company killed. I forgot the name of it, but that was the craziest thing I've ever seen. There's so many attorneys' offices. And probably still today, but particularly ones that were established in the 80s and had been represented through the era of the internet marketing boom, literally had just rooms only for stored information, like local case files, because of the tenure in which they've had their firm. And then that was able to be transferred into a searchable format within probably like a month of work. For the paralegal or legal assistant. And that's how I got into Practice Panther, because they had a similar product. So that was the tool that I recommended to my clients for a long time. I didn't understand what SaaS was at all. Never crossed my mind whatsoever. I was strictly Google. That was my thing. That's what I did all the time. Always Google, and more Google. I tried Facebook ads, never worked really for my attorneys. Just Google was the thing. And, still works to this day. Pretty great. Sorry, I can't help on the Clio thing. I never heard of it.
That's okay. It's similar to what you were talking about. Whitelabel just has an integration with it that's supposed to work, but I can't get to work. So I didn't know if you'd ever used it. So that's why
I can tell you with confidence that Alex Schlinsky cannot get it to work. I can tell you that with confidence. Immense confidence. I am definitely not the tech guy here on this side of the screen. That's for sure.
It only does reputation management. Like that's it. They just check a box on their client side and Clio, and then it sends a signal to Whitelabel to push out the review request. That's all it really does. The integration, it's not a wonderful integration, but yeah.
What else you
Brian, got? I got a question for you, Brian. On your prospects by demand business, is that specifically for agencies only?
First of all, I'm Alex. Brian is the much taller one, and I'm way more handsome than
him. Sorry.
Very important. Jeff, I want to make sure you heard that for the record. Just very important. Next time when Brian's on next week, say you are the less handsome one. Just important. Yeah, much taller. For those of you who don't know, I'm like 5'5", and Brian is like 6'7". He is a titan. He is massive.
Wow.
Prospecting on demand is pretty much strictly for agencies or successful SaaS companies. So we have probably 5 SaaS companies, but all of them are doing over 30,000 a month, mostly because if we work with just a SaaS business, we're going to have them add a lead gen component. We have to. Like, we just don't know how to start a SaaS from scratch. It's not our skill. It's not what we do. I just have a hard time like having someone start a SaaS from scratch with the logic that we spoke about earlier on this call. It's like, if we understand that the first format to generating growth is booking sales calls, but your at bat opportunity is $400 instead of $2,500, I just don't understand logically why would we do that. I just don't get that logically. I have a hard time understanding that, and no one has been able to argue the point as to why it should be that way. And so that's what we do. Anyone that comes to us and they're like, we have a $400 SaaS product, it's like, and we have 8 clients or 10 clients on it, it's like, okay, we're going to bring a marketing offer to all those clients, and you're going to add $2,000 of revenue to each of those clients, and you're going to quadruple the size of your business instantaneously. Then we're going to go to every person that you offer, and you're going to be offering both combined. And then if they say no to the lead gen offer, you have a downsell, which is your SaaS. That's how we coach it. Is a good answer. I like it. Works for me.
I've got to jump to a call. It's been great. Appreciate it.
Charles,
Hope
good
you feel
seeing you,
better,
buddy.
bud.
Yeah, thank you. God, what the heck? Look at this. Too many. Dying over here.
Have fun
All
with
right,
that.
Familia. I'll see y'all later. It was great having you all. Thanks for joining. Next Wednesday, 4:00. I'll be back here with Beyond. Next Thursday, 4:00. Brian, not Alex. Brian will be here. Call guy. Won't
Thanks,
be wearing.
Alex.
Want to learn Go High Level in a structured format? Check out the GHLacademy.com by Extendly. We guarantee to save you 6 months of wasted subscription costs for High Level. Just visit the GHLacademy.com.